morning, everybody. Beautiful day for a drive today, although it's a little toasty, and this should be a good one. This is Oscar, and thank you so much for sharing your Acura TL with us. Why don't you tell me a little bit about it?
Sure, yeah, it's a 07 TLS, and I have an RV6 true dual exhaust with a long tube J-pipe, H&R Sports, Coney Yellows, Progress rear sway bar, intake, and that's about it. Okay,
cool. So a bunch of street-oriented bolt-ons, Canyon stuff, and this is your daily driver, I imagine?
It was. I daily drive an electric car now.
Oh, you do? Okay, yeah. Well, how LA of you. Very appropriate. But you live up in the canyons or in the canyon area, and so you got to have your good handling and stuff. And we did that crazy TL, Andy's car at Grid Life. That was way over the top.
That thing was really amazing.
So I thought this was a good idea because I wanted to see what a more normal build would look like. So let's that guy. I don't want to follow him, so we're gonna go this way.
Cool.
So how long have you had this thing?
Had about 4 years.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll go manual mode, and I have paddles. Okay,
yeah, mounted on the steering wheel.
There we go. So these things are they're really kind of a pinnacle of Acura's success in the mid-2000s. You know, I knew a few people who had these, and they were good cars then, and this one with 118,000 miles on it looks fresh. You care a lot about your car, taking care of it. It's good. Yep. Sounds nice.
Appreciate it.
Got a good pitch, no real drone. Woof. There is a delay of game in the gearbox, though, isn't there?
It is, yeah. I'm running OEM fluid, so.
If you change the fluid, does that make a big difference?
Yeah, people have been saying, like Andy, he changes out the third and fourth gear pressure switches on the automatic, stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I have for brakes, I have Stop Tech drilled and slotted rotors
and
Stop Tech pads.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, this road is very smooth, but your ride is good. Ride's nice. And you know, you mentioned that you kind of wish it was a manual, but I can't help but think that would be difficult for you. You
know what's funny?
I don't want to dwell on it, but you're down a hand.
Right. Yeah. You know what's funny? On my license, when I took my driver's license test at age 16, I have a restriction: Class C, limited to automatic transmission.
Come on, you legally cannot drive a stick.
Yes. So if an officer decides to, you know, put me on that, yeah.
You know, you should do whatever it takes to get a ticket for illegally driving a manual gearbox. Can you drive a stick?
Yes, sir.
Is it really hard?
I mean, the only time is just during turns. Obviously, I'm not going to shift.
Yeah.
So if I need to take a turn, I'll downshift first if I need to, and just, you know, put my hand back on it.
Do you mind if I ask what happened?
I was born like that.
Oh, really?
But it doesn't affect me much.
Other than not being able to legally drive stick. Well, you've got the right attitude, man, and this car's I love the color. This is one of this and that gray are my two. I don't know what it's called, but the darker gray.
Carbon bronze pearl. Yeah.
Is that wow? For gray, it's a really descriptive name.
Yep. Yeah, this was the blue was the signature color.
So was this the 270 horsepower from the factory?
Yeah, so this is the J35A8. It's the same engine in the RL from that year. So about my mods, I'm putting down 260 to the wheels.
Okay, you've been on a dyno with it?
Yeah.
Cool. And that's on pump gas, yeah?
On pump gas.
Oh no, road work ahead.
Oh man.
That certainly explains the blocks of traffic. Okay, we're gonna not deal with that, and we're gonna do our turning radius checkpoint right here. Wow. So the only, you know, in automatic, the car feels surprisingly tight and really nice, but as typical with cars of this period, the gearbox kind of ages it, huh?
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're in an Acura or a Benz or an Aston Martin. You know what I mean? You think this shifts slow? You should have seen how my Vanquish was.
Oh, man.
For an expensive car, the gearbox is dog shit.
Wow.
But what's really, really impressive is how well these cars hold up. I mean, I've never been in one of these that really looked super tired. It looks like it came off the showroom floor last year.
Yeah, there was a 6-speed version with my two-tone seats
and
the blue with 30,000 miles. I saw it on Auto Trader, some Ho and Acura in Carlsbad, they sold it for 18 grand.
Wow, so they hold their value too,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
So, but these cars don't really have a whole lot of vices, right? They're
Right.
pretty much just solid, good cars.
What I wish was if they dropped the super handling all-wheel drive from the RL
Right.
in this car, probably one of the best Acuras ever made.
You couldn't get the all-wheel drive at all in these, right? Not
Nope.
until the next generation.
Correct, yeah.
And I reviewed the next generation, and it wasn't as good. It wasn't as good looking.
Right.
It was, I mean, it wasn't horrible to drive, but it wasn't great, inspiring. These things, Acura during this period between this and the CL Type S, they had some like properly good handling front drive cars, didn't they?
Right. And now with the TLX, apparently they're coming out with TLX Type S. I don't know if you heard about that.
I heard, yeah. I haven't looked too deep into it,
Yeah,
but I
so
did
we'll
hear.
see what Honda does with that, or Acura.
This thing sounds nice. Got a good growl to it. Maybe it's like a 370Z, but like less grumbly, like a little higher pitched. And we're gonna turn off this road as soon as we can because I don't want to follow this guy. But it's very like smooth and quiet. And how does this have nav on this big screen?
It does, yeah.
How old and worthless is it? Is it old and worthless?
It's not bad. It's
really?
not bad. I updated the maps, and I use it sometimes on road trips.
Dude, does this thing have like? Does it have like Bluetooth and stuff like that?
It does, but the module crapped out on me, so I just unplugged it. So when it craps out, it drains your battery.
Oh,
and I woke up to a dead battery, and if you feel right here, that's where the Bluetooth is. It's all warm.
Oh,
so I had to unplug it.
Because it gets hot in the sun. Is that why? It craps
No,
out?
it's just keeps trying to boot up, and it just cycles and cycles, and then drains your battery.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, and it's like $300 for a new Bluetooth module.
I'm very impressed. Like, it's so quiet in here.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear the exhaust, obviously, but there's like zero road noise, zero wind noise.
Yeah, I got Pilot Super Sports on it.
Oh, those are actually fairly quiet tires.
Right.
And we're just gonna have a quick run up UBT.
Sounds good.
Because I don't want to sit behind Mr. Hyundai Elantra. All right, here we go. It's geared pretty long, actually, isn't it?
It is.
Second goes to what? Like almost
65, yeah.
Almost 70.
Yep. This is the thing is, after third gear, it's just ridiculous, this car.
What do you mean by ridiculous?
Long years.
Oh, long years?
Yeah.
It's got to be a fuel economy thing, right? Because it's a 5-speed?
Yes.
6-speed? 5-speed, yeah.
Correct, yeah.
You know what, Oscar? It drives great. These are really good cars. They're such a bargain. I mean, I know they hold their value pretty well, but you buy one of these, what is one of these, 12, 14 grand for an auto?
Yep.
You get a lot of car for that. I mean, that's certainly compared to what something new or virtually new would get you for that much money. Good grip.
Yeah, for front-wheel drive, what are your impressions?
Well, I'm not super pushing it, but it doesn't really torque steer. You know, the torque steer you get more with the turbo motors that spool up, down, low, and give you that 2,000 RPM punch. With a 6, it's more linear, so when you roll into it, it's fingers. There's no torque steer at all. This is so nice. I would totally recommend this as a daily to somebody.
Right.
With your suspension, do you find that it doesn't feel too stiff to me? It's not. Do you like it?
I have
it in the middle, kind of?
I have it one turn from full soft, front and rear.
Okay. Have you played with a bunch of different settings
Yeah, the Coney Yellows is just rebound adjustment, right? Yeah, I tried 2 turns and I started bouncing on my seat, so I know it's too stiff.
Yeah.
Went back to half a turn, felt a little floppy on turns, a little body roll, so went back to 1 turn and it's perfect.
Perfect?
Yep.
I think a lot of people who do coilovers or who do aftermarket shocks make the mistake of going too stiff or too low. And you haven't had that problem at all.
Right.
No rub, a cyclist will look out for him on the way back. It makes good power though. What does this thing weigh?
Oh man, it's a tank. It's like 3,500 pounds.
Well, that's a tank by 05 standards, but by today's standards, I can't believe this thing. I'm sorry, you say 07?
07, yeah, they made these Type S's on 07 and 08.
A 10-year-old car.
Yeah.
Here's where, so right there, it's actually, I notice, I don't know if it's because it's front wheel drive or if it's because of suspension geometry or whatever, but I notice the wheel wants to move around in my hand more, actually more under braking than under power. Do you find that at all? Or am I just a little crazy?
You might be right. When you're braking?
Yeah, when you're braking, the steering gets heavier, but under power, there's not really any torque steering. Like here, I don't know. We're gonna try it again at the next corner. Maybe that was in my head. I might have just made that up. I don't know. Occasionally, I'll just make things up. But this is a very nice, refined car.
Well, thank you.
Like, some people would never be happy with it because it's front-wheel drive.
Right.
But truth be told, unless you're really, really getting on it, it doesn't really matter. And you can go reasonably quick with this thing.
Enough fun, but not, to get in trouble, basically.
Oh, you could get in trouble with it.
In this?
I mean, you could, but you'd have to be trying.
Right.
Not like that STI down the hill that's just screaming for it.
You guys will see that. Yep.
Yeah, that open wastegate, loud car.
Man.
Yeah, you know where it gets heavy is kind of right here at the mid corner, right there. It changes just a little bit.
Is it my rack or is it just?
No, I don't think so. Did you change the rack?
No, but these generation TLs have problems with leaking steering, like power steering.
Well, it doesn't feel broken or anything like that.
Cool.
Are you running the standard tire size or do you have oversized tires?
So yeah, the fronts are 235/35 and the rears are 245/35 because my wheels are staggered.
Okay, so what did it come with?
It came with 235, 45, 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your fronts are the same section as stock, so that wouldn't really affect it.
Yeah. Smaller sidewall though. I don't know if that.
A little bit less.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's just how the car is. I couldn't tell you. That's just an impression. But this is I could see this being a really nice daily driver for somebody. And Andy's car with the manual, it was a good manual. Now his was like a built gearbox,
right? But
it was still pretty nice to drive with a manual gearbox. I'm not surprised those are pulling a premium week before racehorse. Sorry.
Yeah, he tries to build supercharger kits, his Roadtrex kits.
Yeah, the Roadtrex kit.
And he tries to sell them, and I've been looking at it. I talked to him on the phone.
It was that thing was really nutty. It wasn't quite there, but it needed a little bit of fine tuning. But it was pretty fast. It definitely, for a TL, that was a real engine in that thing. This is good. Thanks, Oscar. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for letting me have a quick little go in this guy. It's a good, refined, easy car, and your modifications have, I think, complemented it, not ruined it. It doesn't rub, it doesn't bounce. You're golden, man. Thanks so much for coming down. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.